This is an overview of a Johnson 25, Lowe 1440 Mod V, and jackplate positioning and low water intakes. Those kind of specifics. I've got a few other videos with just more details about the setup and everything, but honestly, this is kind of the most interesting thing. The rest of it's just a John boat. So what I've been doing is experimenting with my water intakes. You can see there I've got some clear Gorilla Tape. Impressive stuff, actually. That's been on there now for like 3 days. Each day the boat has been in the water, and those have just been, I didn't even lift the motor out. I mean, it's sitting in the water when I left it that way. So the tape is impressive stuff. Been very surprised it actually stayed on. I was not expecting that. But so these are the TR Machining shallow scoops. I don't even think he has a website. He's just got like a Facebook page. They're basically just like ram water intakes. So front or back and then front, you can see they're like little wedges. So they stick out further than factory. And then the idea is that you can run, you know, part of the lower higher than you might be able to. I can run mine, as you can see. Currently, I'm at the highest position on my jack plate. No tunnel. Oh, and I just realized I whacked my transducer on. Oh, there was a good log I hit the other day while I was out. So, side note, always run with your lever up. That way the motor can just freely tip up. Most people know that, but just a word on that. So this is at the highest position on my plate. So as the water is coming off the back end of the boat, it's right about level with the bullet of the cone here. So basically just the lower blades of the propper in the water. Everything else is out above water. This setup has been working really well, and it makes the boat extremely usable in all conditions still. I don't have to worry about much. The only issue I was experiencing was hard turns or potentially getting the jack plate a little bit higher up on the, maybe mounting the motor one hole higher, such things like that. So I was just seeing how far I can push this setup, and so I've been taping that off. And what I found worked pretty well was the lower 2 slots left open, and I was maintaining water pressure. Probably put a quick video at the beginning and maybe here just showing it running. It's not the best video. If you look closely, you can see where the water level is well below the intake, but since the rotation of the prop is clockwise like this, causes a lot of spray on this side. I like to video from the other side just because you can actually see the prop, and I'll probably put a little clip of that here. And then the issue though is my telltale right there is coming out this side, and then most people are just saying, oh, you're wrecking your motor, you're destroying it, you're burning it up, fastest way to burn up an impeller, that kind of stuff. So I figured I would just film from this side, but unfortunately the video is not quite as nice just because there's a lot more spray. The best scenario is videoing from that side and then taking a slight ease off on the throttle, and that's when you can really see how high the motor is above the actual water line. You can see, due to the little, I guess those would be like strakes in the water, you can visualize or see kind of what the water line is, but it's just a little bit hard to tell on video. Anyways, water probably right about here, tip of the cone. So what's happening that I'm finding in some slow-mo videos that I've been reviewing, water's coming here, it's hitting this, and it's sticking to this surface of the lower, riding up like at an angle from here up. So I thought, well, first of all, these are this guy, I think he just makes them for all different motors, but it would be kind of a custom order. But I was thinking, what if I could put these slots at a slight angle to be ready to accept that flow of water? So been considering that. I do have a 3D printer. I may make some myself, just because that's kind of very specific. I also might make them that stick out a little bit more Dumbo ear style, stick out a bit further there. And then obviously blocking off all of them except the very bottom two. And I got this idea from a guy's video, old timer, talking about offshore racing, lower units. He was talking about how they would bondo up the the upper holes so that they wouldn't lose water pressure in the waves. And I was just thinking, well, if it's got enough surface area, which I've been monitoring that just by, don't have a gauge or anything. Again, this is a 25, this is small time stuff. I don't have a gauge or anything. I'm just monitoring what the water looks like coming out of the telltale. Since this is the highest point on the system, you can see back here, if you're not familiar with a Johnson, this is it right here. So this is the highest point on the motor. So if I'm getting good pressure all the way up to this point, I can be assured that the rest of the motor has good pressure. So it's more of just a visual inspection, I should say. And covered all the way down to the very lowest one here, and I saw a drop. So I think having to have two open is probably ideal, especially if you get like a leaf or something like that blocking it. I don't even know if that could happen, probably too much water blowing by. But so that's the basics of what I've been experimenting with. Going to just kind of keep posting videos as I figure things out, mess around with more things. Hopefully I don't blow my motor up, but just some fun stuff. So something else I have been toying with, and I already have the fiberglass and the skills and tools to do. I can replace this. This is just one of those foils. You can get them at any Cabela's, whatever. The reason I originally got that, the guy before me, he broke off the calf plate. I think he got a log between a prop and this and snapped it off. This is not the same prop, obviously. I've since, that's my own addition to this. And also he did the skeg for me too. So both of those things, neither matter. This solved the calf plate problem, and the skeg I don't even notice. So, but I've been considering doing something like there's a product called the Shaw Wing. I think it's made by some company. I can't remember the name of it right now. It is designed though to mount under the calf plate. So essentially, what my goal is, how tight can I close this distance here? And that may sound unideal. You might want to have a little bit of space. But if I can make a 1/4-inch sheet of fiberglass that closes this, it's almost 1 inch right there, something like that. If I can close that distance, rather than being a calf plate, it'll be more of a compression plate. I can kind of funnel the water in, so can put a bend on it right here, just like the Shaw Wing, and shove all of that water as much as I can towards the propeller and hold it down so it can't just blow up and throw a 20-foot rooster tail. So, which is what happens if I remove this. It just makes a huge rooster tail. I get on plane much slower, and doesn't hold as much in the corners. So I think a compression plate on something like this is ideal, especially when there's no tunnel. So those are a couple of things that I'm going to be experimenting with, and I'll probably document as I go. I'm not interested in like a YouTube channel or anything like that. Just making videos for people who might be screwing around with John boats like me. That's about it. So if you're interested in that, maybe watch, and I'll try to post a video. No idea when that'll be, but yep, you'll see it when it comes out.